You know what day it is. That's right, it's Sunday. Just for a couple minutes more. Happy Sunday, everybody. Welcome back to my channel. I'm Katrina DeVille, and I make videos about trans awareness, trans issues. I'm a trans woman, and I speak from a place of personal experience, lived experience. I try to share instances that have happened to me in my life so that people can understand trans people better. People can understand that we're just people out here trying to live, do our thing, exist in nature, in the wild. I have a 10-person band, and we go play some shows far away sometimes. Last night we played in Chicago, which was, it's about 3.5 or so, 4-hour drive away from where I live. And yeah, it was a great show. And I spent most of today kind of resting and recovering from the travels and the bouncing around on the stage and things like that. But I wanted to, it's Sunday, and this is what I do on Sundays. I come and make a video for y'all, and I've enjoyed doing it so far. I've really loved having this channel, and I hope the things that I share have been helpful. If this is your first time here, welcome. Please like and subscribe to the videos. I'd really appreciate it. It helps get the message out there to more people by spreading the algorithm, spreading the reach. The more people that we can teach the correct information, the better off this whole community will be. So today I figured I would come and talk to you about the importance of mental health. A lot of this holds true for anyone, whether they're cis or trans, but I think this is a really important topic to touch on for trans people because we are so good at telling ourselves we can't do this, we can't transition, and now you have the government posturing against us, telling us the same thing, that they're just underlining the inner narrative that we've all had for however many years. If you are, 20 or younger, I'm going to be jealous of you that you've decided to grasp this journey and go down this path. If you've figured out that you are trans and you've talked to people about it, but that's a lot of what today is the importance of mental health and the importance of thinking through your decisions and things, and speaking to people that can help you to understand yourself better and understand the things that you are feeling, and understand the avenues you have for addressing those thoughts and feelings. So there's a whole lot of really good influencers on YouTube and TikTok and the popular social media platforms. YouTube is where I found a lot of good resources when I finally decided to commit to transitioning. And one of the points that was brought up by a lot of these girls was the importance of your mental health, because humans in general can suffer from depression and sadness, feelings of abandonment, disappointment. It can all have a widespread and major detrimental effect on you as an entire being. Your mental health has an effect on your physical health. I mean, one of one of the common coping mechanisms with being depressed or being sad, not being able to express your emotions to people, is to eat. They call it eating your emotions. So, you know, you find comfort in food and just continue to eat when you are upset, even if you're not hungry. And, you know, so your emotional and mental hurdles are starting to affect your physical being and your physical makeup. This was something that I definitely struggled with for quite a long time. I had multiple hurdles in my life that I struggled with, acceptance and feeling wanted and loved, feeling understood. You know, you become frustrated, and when groups of people cast you out or ostracize you, it's adding more fuel to the fire. So, I found lots of comfort in Reese's peanut butter cups and things like that. As I've gone through life, I have tried to be a lot more self-aware. And if you're not really familiar with this concept, self-awareness is basically the equivalent of seeing yourself from the outside, how others would see you. So we tend to look at ourselves through the lens of personal bias. Like, we believe ourselves to be correct. We believe ourselves to err on the side of what is genuine and well-intended. And it doesn't always come off that way. There's a really dear friend of mine who has a brilliant way of putting this, and he's always said it's ego level. You have to come up, you have to leave, you know, with your mind's eye. You have to leave your body and go up 30, 40, 50, 60, 100 feet up. You know, pan out and out and out and out until you can see yourself from the distance and understand how other people are seeing you. And what I mean by that is not only like your physical appearance, but like the way you act and the way you respond to people, your actions, your intent, how people perceive that. It very much could be very much different than how you perceive yourself as coming across. It could be very much different than what you've hoped to come across as. So just a miscommunication with someone, people having different life experiences than you and not seeing certain references that you're making in the same kind of light, they can all have an effect on how someone sees you and accepts you and accepts the message that you are trying to relay to them, whether it's a hug or frustration, unity, or disillusion, division. It's really important to start thinking of being self-aware. This not only helps dealing with people on a day-to-day basis, because you will have much stronger relationships when you can understand someone else's perspective of yourself. you understand the way that they're going to see you. So you can understand the language you need to use to connect with them in the way you mean to connect with them. So, as you begin to develop self-awareness and see yourself from the outside, you'll go through your life and reassess things that you've accepted for yourself. Like, that's the real win of becoming self-aware. And if you can do it in real time, then, I mean, that's like pinnacle, boss level. If you can be in real time having a conversation with someone and see yourself the way they're seeing you, and say you're having a discussion and all of a sudden you have a dispute with this person and you can't understand for the life of you why they're mad at you, but they most definitely are mad at you. If you can see in that instance, like, put yourself in their seat and see you and understand some of the points that they're trying to get across are their life experiences that they've brought with them. These things that we experience becomes the knowledge that we know. The more you go through your life and you're able to become self-aware, you know, for me, I went back and reassessed. I mean, it continues on every day because there's so much stuff, but you go back through your life and you assess every little thing that you've ever done, and you ask yourself if these things help you or if they hurt you, if they cause you detriment. And it's everything from as baseline as brushing your teeth to, you know, an argument that you had with your mother 15 years ago or today, or, you know, every little thing. Does this serve me in a positive way? You can ask that question of every little thing that you do once you can see yourself from the outside. And then, at that point, you can begin to decide if you're going to keep these things in your life or if you're going to let them go. So, when I started to transition, I'd already been on a path of self-awareness for about 10 years, and I'm no expert. I'm still actively doing this every day. I assess things that, ways that I act, ways that I do things. And like I said, it's everything from the mundane level of how I crack eggs into a bowl, to how I comb my hair, to how I interact with my family, to how I put a message out there to social media. Every bit is a bit of you, and everything that you do can be taken one way or the other by people around you. So it's important to understand how people are perceiving you. If you aren't accepted by folks, there's reasons why. And it's not necessarily the other person's fault. It could be the lived experience that they've had, you know, how they were growing up, how they were brought up by their parents, the things that their family taught them to believe, you know, so on and so forth. When I started to transition, I'd already been down this path of self-awareness for about 10 years, and it's given me the wisdom to look at myself again and again, and to also listen with more acceptance to what others try to tell me and try to teach me. The more you can see yourself, the more you understand, the less you understand. If that makes any sense. You know, it's the whole thing of the more you know you don't know. So A lot of what the influencers I was listening to when I came to transition, when I committed, like, this is what we're doing now. I'm going to be my real authentic self. I'm going to have my insides align with my outsides. I'm going to do all the things and all the stuff, and I'm going to, like, I'm a transgender woman, so embrace it, with fervor and power. Rawr, here we are. So you listen to influencers, and I urge you to not just pick one. I mean, if you're here listening to me and I'm the one, well, I mean, girl, I'm honored. I am one voice. I am one perspective. And when you do something as profound, as life-changing, as important to your existence as transitioning, or even coming to the realization that you're trans, and now what do we do? What do I do? Listen to multiple influencers. Everyone started transition at a different period, so the different people that you can listen to are all at different points on their journey. I'm about 14 months in, so even though I did a bunch with self-medication years and years ago, and it persisted for me over the last 20 years or whatever, being fully committed to it, where it's an everyday thing and I'm not turning around, has been about 14 months. So I'm what they call, my brain's not doing brain things. I'm a trans youth, basically. There's trans women in the community that have been transitioning for 20 plus years. They have an entirely different take on things than I do. It's their perspective is totally different. They've experienced so much of life from this new standpoint. It's obviously a different person too, so it's completely different perspective. But I urge you to go and listen to multiple influencers, multiple trans women who've had a wide spectrum of experiences. I've had a wide spectrum of experiences, but because I'm so young in this journey, my experiences relevant to being trans are only 14 months long, where some of these girls, 5, 10, 15, 20 years, like, it's a lot of experience. It's great, to learn from them. So one of the things that the influencers I was listening to, and I still listen to them, one of the things that kept coming back again and again and again was the importance of finding a gender therapist. And I don't think it's something that is relevant to only trans people. I think everybody should have a therapist, the same way you have a general practitioner, a doctor, like, who assesses your physical makeup and your physical wellness. Our society absolutely does not put enough emphasis on the effect that your mental health has on the rest of your being, like I illustrated before with eating your emotions. Being depressed, even if you're not trying to suffocate those feelings of dread with food or drink or anything like that, a substance of some sort, drugs, whatever, if you're just sitting with it, it can lay so heavy on you that I know it. Like, I've suffered these things where you don't want to live anymore. You don't want to be here anymore. And it doesn't have to be like that. Absolutely always reach out to if you are ever feeling like that. I'm not a professional, but I've gone through some of these things, and you are absolutely not alone in it. There's people that want you to still be here, and I'm one of them. I want you to still be here, no matter what. Life's too short, and it's too precious, and we all need to be taking care of each other. So, one of the things that kept coming up was the importance of finding a mental health professional, a gender therapist. And I would encourage this for anyone who wants to take better care of themselves. When I started to transition, I had health insurance, and I still have health insurance, and I went back to my plan to see what was covered. You know, because listening to these influencers, they're like, you should try to find a therapist. I was hesitant about it initially because of my past life experience. When I was a youngster and I had wanted to transition, it was necessary to talk to a health professional to be prescribed hormones. Now you can actually self-diagnose, which is what I did when I started transition this round 14 months ago. I mean, it's pretty obvious. I was on the money with that self-assessment, but adults can do this. Children cannot. I want to underline that right here, because the false narratives are out there of, you know, these doctors are prescribing kids these drugs with no regard to medical standards, and no regard to what is correct. Like, come on. That is absolutely untrue. If someone is a minor, they have to have their parents involved with it to get anything prescribed. They have to go through multiple rounds with multiple health professionals, whether it's psychiatrists, psychologists, doctors. No one is just giving handfuls of hormones to kids willy-nilly. It's not happening. So all these Supreme Court laws and things where they're trying to limit this, all it's doing is detrimentally affecting the lives of those who have been shown to benefit from these things being prescribed to them after they have had their mental and physical, emotional states properly assessed by medical professionals. But anyway, I'm like a squirrel today. Just all over the place. I went through my health insurance plan, and I discovered that, talking to a therapist absolutely is covered by my plan. Trans people figure out pretty early on that transitioning is expensive. There's lots of things, like, not even talking like surgeries or, hormones or any of that. All the things, like, all of a sudden you need a new wardrobe, and you need, makeup and you need shoes. Like, girl, you need shoes. You always need shoes. There'll never be a point when I don't need more shoes. Like, come on. Like, I just got a couple new pairs of Adidas. Shoes. It's gender affirming care, let me tell you. So, if you can, like, I pay for health insurance, so it should cover things, right? Yeah, So go and check your plan and see if you're eligible for it to cover therapy for, your trans health, but for your human stability and health overall. So I went online and I started to, like the simplest thing, it's just like go to Google and try to find where different therapists are. I live in an area, I was thankful enough that there's quite an abundance of gender therapists. And then you can, usually send them emails and ask them if they're accepting patients. Obviously you look and see if they accept your insurance, and then send them an email, ask them if they're accepting patients, ask them questions, like how long have you been talking with trans people? Have you worked with a lot of trans people? How fluent are you with things that are pertinent to gender? And, like for me, there was, I think there was 10 therapists that I initially was looking at, and through the replies I got from them, I was able to whittle it down to just a couple, and then based on more replies and more correspondence and intuition, I found the therapist that I have now. They don't just help you with your mental health. These therapists fully understand the war on trans people that's going on right now. And they also understand the things that we have as hurdles to overcome without any of this trans war, this 2025 trans genocide that's been going on and breaking my heart over and over again. Somebody can make it stop. I would like to just get back to a place of like, yeah, we're happy trans people. What do trans people really want? Dress with pockets. So, what I mean by that is like, she's been a great resource for helping me in other ways. Like, I have a weekly session, and I'll go to my session and sit down with her, and she'll say, you know what? I found this brand new app for iPhones that it's a voice training app, and it's free. Here you go. And wow, so like, I don't do probably as much voice training as I should. I'm a singer, so it's, I'm kind of, I've thought about surgeries for my voice, and I think that's probably not for me. There's other surgeries and things I'm going to do, and I'll take you on that journey with me too when I get there. Voice training apps, and she helped me with getting my name legally changed, because that's a whole rigmarole thing, and we can absolutely talk about that on this channel too. I absolutely will. Anything that's been a hurdle that I've had to overcome in this journey, I will try to address on this channel and try to help people by sharing. So, not only has it been like so good for my heart to go in there every week, we talk about the things that have happened, talk about, goals that you have for like 3 months, for a year, for the end of the week, talk about, things that happen today, if you have to, if it's like something that has like wrecked your heart so bad, or like put you in a point of just like not being able to get past it, being able to, push it aside and just, go about your day with the same kind of strength and belief in yourself that you've always had. If you're like stuck with something, we'll absolutely talk about that. And she's, giving me books and things like, here, read about this person's story, because it will help you feel stronger about yourself. Or, like I said, the voice training app. Here, there's other apps that she's helped me to find too. Or, just things that are really pertinent to living life as a successful human. That's baseline. And then living life as a successful trans person. That's next step up. And then, if you want to blend in with society, if you want to, be properly gendered wherever you go and not have people question you just walking in the room, like, what do we have to do to get to that point? Mannerisms and things like that. Like, these are all things that a gender therapist can help you address. Also, my therapist is a member of the LGBTQ community, so she absolutely understands from the same perspective as I do what it feels like to be punched down on by all those in the administration that are down punching with such force on all of us all the time, whether it's trying to take away our rights, putting out new laws that hamper us traveling, hamper us being safe at home. She experiences all of that too, so she understands how awful it can feel. And having someone in my corner that I can talk to on a weekly basis, I can reach out to her with email if I have a problem in the middle of the week and try to get some help in the middle of the week. This person with the same kind of attack going on for her, she gets it. So not only do you have a mental health person, but you have like a friend in your corner who gets it too. There's, like, maybe it's just me, but like, I always ask her how she's doing too, because she's a human too. But there's been a real stigma, not only in our country, but I think worldwide. There's been a real stigma put on the value of mental health, and just this whole idea that gets passed around when you say, well, I'm going to go see my therapist. Oh, you need a therapist? There must be something wrong with you. You should be able to just handle that on yourself. Now, continuing that whole narrative is just hurtful. It's and I don't mean in a way of like making somebody feel that they have something wrong with them being hurtful. That absolutely is hurtful, of course. But what I mean by it being hurtful is it doesn't allow us to progress as humans. It doesn't let you ascend to this point of being your best version of you, because you'll be stuck on hurdles that you possibly can't see, or you don't have the tools or emotional wisdom to be able to overcome them. And by listening to someone who tells you, well, only people that have things wrong with them, only crazy people go to see therapists, it's not true at all. But by listening to them, you don't go to therapy, and you don't get those tools, and you don't get the friend to help you. You don't get the soldier for you, the person who's going to grab your hand and go, look, here's the thing that you need. Here's this morsel of goodness that you've been trying to figure out for years, decades, whatever, that can get you past this hurdle that has been tripping you. It's important. Mental health is super important. Whether you're trans or whether you're cis, mental health is super important to humans. Period. Trans people are humans. cis people are humans too, most of the time. I say that because, you know, it's always cis people that are coming over to womp on trans people, you know, like, you know, try to beat us down. I don't really see any trans women that show up in trans spaces to beat up on other trans women. It's, you know, it'd be like, like cannibalistic sort of behavior, right? Goodness. Well, with that, ladies and gentlemen, trans brothers and sisters, I think I will let you go. Thank you for showing up today. Thank you for coming back to my channel. I've really enjoyed making these videos, and I will continue making them. And, you know, I think I'm going to do a makeup tutorial on one of these where we not only talk about, you know, expensive makeup versus cheap makeup, staples that I've used that definitely help, what is too much, what is too little. We'll talk about all of it, and I will try to do a tutorial on how to apply some of these things. You know, we'll have to start somewhere, and we'll have to have our resources, and I've been asked to do a couple makeup tutorials and things like that, so sure, why not? Let's do it, right? This channel is to try and help people learn how to be better, do better, love one another better, and I'm glad to have a trans community here because I'm trans, and I hope you all find acceptance here. You definitely have it from me. And with that, I think I will let you go for today, but hearts and stars for all of you. I hope it's a fantastic new week, and share some comments down below. What are some things that you've learned from, you know, if you've gone to therapy? Are there some things that you've learned from your therapist that I didn't talk about? I'd be happy to, I'd be eager to hear what you have to say. So anyways, don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you again in a couple of days for a new video, okay? All right, all my love. Ciao.